This could actually become the cheapest vintage 64 ES-345 on the market. Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another consignment update for our auction coming up on the 5th to the 8th of December 2023. We have got an awful lot to go through today, so I hope you are sitting comfortably. We're going to take a rapid approach to looking at things. I'll mention anything relevant and important as we go through. This batch does contain guitars from a larger single owner consignment, which we're not going to have that in a group as a run, just because it's going to be a bit complicated with how we got things set out. You will see the racks are filling up, and this is only one half really of what we've got, but things are flying in. Lots of consignments coming in this week. So 5th to 8th of December is the auction. Let's take a look at what we got coming up. Start with some Gibsons, but make sure you stay to the end for a little Gibson surprise, a little bonus at the end. So here we have an SG Special, fairly modern Special, 2019 I think this is, yeah, 2019, metallic red finish, 2 P90s, raw power P90s with the original case. Generally good condition, bit of checking on the back of the head. But who doesn't love an SG? You'll see from the case this is a similar period Gibson as the SG we've just seen, and I love this guitar. TV yellow, 2019 again. We seem to have lost us. Yeah, this is the one I was having fun with the other day, and
broke another string.
I was going I was going a bit too Billy Joe Armstrong on this one. Yeah, perfect for those Green Day bangers. So yeah, again, a couple of P90s. Like I said previously, just get that raw power from these P90 pickups. TV yellow finish is a really good weight as well. So a nice modern TV yellow Les Paul Special. Maybe a perfect Christmas gift, eh? Something a bit more higher end in the Gibson stakes. You can see the Gibson custom case. There we go, 335. So this is from 2008 ES-345. So it's Gibson Memphis custom shop, basically where they made these in Memphis. Nice bit of flaming, subtle flaming on the finish, which a lot of these guitars tend to have, but just a classic cherry finish, sort of dot reissue, and it's just a nice example. This one has actually had a refret because the previous or the current owner's preference, he felt that it would benefit from slightly bigger frets. I actually agree with him. It's a really nice playing guitar in good condition, nice and red, so maybe another good Christmas present. Never judge a guitar by its case.
Just don't look at the sticker on the top.
This is a bit special. And we have a 1953 Gibson Les Paul with the wraparound. Yeah, this is a nice thing, and we are going to dissect this later on in the video, so please stick around. We will have a look inside, see more features of this guitar, but let's have a look at the outside while we're here. So 1953, got the serial number, genuine serial number up the top there, and if you go down just a little bit further, we have a neck repair. So that is one thing. It's not the cleanest neck repair either, a block of wood put in, but this this neck repair was already done before the previous owner bought this guitar, which is about 30 years ago. So this is one of the guitars from the single owner collection. Okay, so now deceased estate, as a lot of these things tend to be. So we've got the neck repair there. Did the best job they could back then. We've got some original tuners. Now I have already had those off, so I've had a good look at those. It's the only tuners that have ever been on the guitar as well. So original tuners. We got a nice big neck. You may or may not be able to pick out from the camera, but the entire guitar's had a lacquer overspray. Now there is some refinishing as well in places, but an entire lacquer overspray to the guitar. We've got the correct panels here. Now, misconception, a lot of people believe these are Bakelite, but it's actually known as Royalite. And with Royalite, you tend to be able to see the sort of, to know they're right. You get these very fine roller marks across from when they were machined out. But yeah, they're good original panels. And essentially most of the hardware on this does appear original. Now the stop bar on it at the moment is a Goto, but we do have the original lightweight one, which we'll see in the video later on. But we got a good pick guard here. We got a good pair of original P90s, and the knobs and the pointers also appear to be correct. We got the original switch tip there and the poker chip, even the strap buttons. Brazilian rosewood board. The frets do actually look the right type and original, but I'm just thinking there's not quite enough wear as is consistent with the board. So they may have been later put on, but they certainly use the right fret gauge. But refrets are generally acceptable these days. The nut actually looks the right material as well, which is nice. Now, in terms of the finish on the top, you'll see around this area we do have some genuine oxidization and checking, which you can actually see under the lacquer. So we know pretty much around the outside of the guitar this is the original gold. What you will see is as you get towards the middle, it all flattens out a bit, and then you see these circles here. So the good thing is we look at the end, there's no trapeze. So obviously in 52, early 53 was when we had the trapeze, and so I think that would indicate, as it is now, that had it had a trapeze, then we could have been looking at something that had been later converted to an early 53 converted to a stop bar. However, we can see that it's had no trapeze, but someone at some point has converted this to a stop bar with a tune-o-matic, and we've got refinishing. You can see where the lacquer checking essentially disappears and it's flatter. That these have been redowed, refinished over, but it's obviously been converted back to normal wraparound spec, which would be correct for that 53 year, until they later went to the tune-o-matic with stop bar as we see today. One thing we did do as well was we blacklit the guitar to have a look.
I was just going to say, you've had this under a black light.
Yeah, and what I was hoping is that you would see sort of patches where the refinishing here had been done, but of course, because the whole thing has been re-lacquered, it's not going to make any difference. And especially if it's done a very long time ago, which this was. I think people get too hung up on UV lighting guitars to assess the originality. Sometimes it is good for showing inconsistencies in the finish, but I've had people in the past, even some dealers, saying to me, "Oh, I've got this guitar, it all black lights fine." You look at it and you think, well, that's an obvious refinish, and it doesn't really matter, because if it was done a long time ago, the UV and it's all been clear coated, the UV light will show up all the same. So you do. It's not the best tool, to be perfectly honest with you. And and the way I use it is literally just to see inconsistencies. Nothing else really. Because like I said, if the whole thing's been re-lacquered, it's not going to show you anything.
It's a tool in the toolbox, but it's not the only tool you want to use.
Exactly.
To
yeah.
determine that sort of thing.
I mean, it may show some things underneath the lacquer occasionally, but I think, yeah, it's when I see people getting hell bent on the UV thing, and I sometimes see people at trade shows going around UV lighting everything just with a torch in the light, and I just think, how's that going to tell you anything? I mean, yeah, it can show some inconsistencies, but as a general rule, that's just my opinion. I've put it in the comments if you think that I'm talking rubbish, but yeah, I can already see the comments coming, but that's just my general feel. Now, that basically covers the outside of the guitar. I think it's a good weight. This thing sounds incredible. In terms of playability, because I've had this guitar apart so much, we haven't got it set back up yet, so I haven't had an extensive play on it. I can't see any reason why it shouldn't. The neck straight, there's enough frets left. This is very adjustable, and that's pretty much the only adjustable part. So, yeah, we'll look forward to that. Of course, we will have a demo of Jack playing this, putting it through its paces, just before the auction. So, stick till the end. There's not a lot more to see, but we will have a look inside and just see what else we find. Or I've already been inside, so I do know already, but for those of you who are interested, just to see what the inside of one of these things looks like. Same collection, another Gibson, and again, don't judge a guitar by its case. Now, we actually do have this one
in lots of bits,
kind of apart at the moment, so I'm going to be quite careful how I handle this, not to throw anything up in the air. This is a 64 345 ES-345
just to reiterate.
Rotary switch. Has the choke inside. Now, this guitar has a lot going on, and I think this could actually become the cheapest vintage 64 ES-345 on the market, because essentially it's a 64 body that's been refinished, but the neck's been changed, and pretty much all the hardware and the electrics have been changed. Now, the reason we have it apart is because we're in the process of assessing these pickups. On the face of it, they look okay, but this might be quite difficult to do now. But let's have a look and see what we've got. If we have a look at this pickup, so they kind of look okay, but they've got these patent applied for stickers. Now, in 64, you would see patent number stickers, and also those stickers are completely wrong. So it's strange, but it almost appears that someone has put patent applied for stickers on some original Gibson pickups. Now, the caveat to this is I'm still looking into these pickups because there are a lot of good replicas around, so more research needed, but these may or may not be original pickups, but we will in due course have the correct information. You'll see inside we've got the original choke that still remains. It has actually been bypassed though, so the Veritone, this is now wired for mono, and it's a bit difficult to see in this light, but you can see all the original strutting in there, which is how we know that it is an original body. So like I said, the body has been refinished. In fact, the pickguard's original, that survived. The pickup surrounds are not original. The tuners are Japanese. The bridge and the stop bar are Japanese. You can actually see if we take the wheel off.
Oh, there's been some previous ones.
There's been some previous repairs, moved around obviously to increase. Well, I guess it would be making it actually intonate properly. There's been some experiments going on, but essentially we've got a very, very messed around 64 345 that has been re-necked with this pickup off, which I think we've got out. You can see here we've got new wood and all sorts going on there, so the tenon's brand new. The fretboard is not Brazilian rosewood, which you would expect. The inlays are pearl, not celluloid, which they should be celluloid. Interestingly, like I said, the tuners have been replaced, but the truss rod cover is actually correct, and even the logo looks correct. So whoever's done it has cleverly managed to get this put back on. But yeah,
like there was like a layer of lacquer over the top of them.
There is, yeah. So this guitar has lots of stories to tell, I'm sure, that we'll unearth. But yeah, I'm not being too what's the word? Committal at this stage, because we are still looking into it. I only really started looking at this guitar late yesterday afternoon, so
you've got to get the detective hats on.
Yeah, got to look at it further. But most of the facts are there. I think the main thing for us is what's going on with the pickups, because if they are original Gibson pickups, then value-wise, you can probably add at least £1,000, I guess. If the pickups aren't original, then all we have is an original 64 body. So you're going to be talking very low thousands, in my opinion, by my calculation. So yeah, we'll see. A couple of Martins to look at. This is a very modern 0018, so small bodied instrument. Of course, a 00 is body size, and then 18 is the appointments, so not the highest appointment guitar, but sometimes that is for the better. So it's just a nice clean example. Mahogany back and sides, spruce top, ebony board, mahogany neck. And if you want a small bodied Martin, then that is a good example, good clean example with case. Not many of you are going to have seen one of these. And made in limited numbers, I'm not exactly sure how many, but the first thing we notice, what is the first thing we notice?
You people are going to wish they had smell-o-vision. This case smells amazing.
This is the thing I love about modern high-end Martin guitars. The cases always smell amazing. It's like I think
it's like aromatherapy.
It is. I remember the first time I ever went to, I think it was Toronto, years ago, over 15 years ago now, and walking down the subway and stumbling across my first Cinnabon. That's what it reminds me of.
Cinnamony smell, isn't it?
Yeah, it's lovely. Yeah, again, very festive.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, perfect for Christmas.
Right.
God, that is a tight fit. So.
Because the guitar doesn't want to leave the case, it smells too good.
That is a bit different, isn't it? So we've got the Bigsby head, Paul Bigsby. I'm not going to give the history of Mr. Bigsby and the guitars he made, but yeah, it's basically the Martin Bigsby limited run D28. So it's basically a D28 with a Bigsby head, so to the original spec and design. It's not going to be for everyone, but if you are a collector of Martin guitars and you like limited edition things and one-offs, then this is the guitar for you. And like I said, smells like Christmas. Lovely. 90s G&L S500, of course, Leo Fenders, post Fender company. George and Leo is what it stands for. And yeah, the G500, great guitars, these lovely big poles as well on the pickups, good big sounding Strat type guitar, pretty much the same concept as a Strat, but I think Leo put his own new designs and thoughts into it, and yeah, that's a nice example. And maybe even a collectible of the future. At the moment, value wise, they tend to sit around the same figures as an American Standard Series Strat or Telly. So you know, I guess hammer price you're talking £600 to £800, £700 on average. But I think for the future, it could be one of them. You know, so yeah, nice thing. Again, another G&L. This one in a Fender case, so non-original case, but a nice plush deluxe Fender case. This is the Legacy model, again US made, mid-90s, and this is the HH spec. So it's the Legacy 2HH, or 2H I think, 2 humbuckers. So Seymour Duncan humbuckers, stock humbuckers, and the see-through blonde finish. So with the 3-bolt neck, obviously Leo stood by his thoughts on the 3-bolter, and yeah, some nice high-end appointments, Spurzl tuners, good hardware, and again a good solid guitar in that sort of mid to high hundreds price range. I love vintage. This now is technically vintage Yamaha Japanese made guitars. So this is late 70s, I'm going to say around 78, which I think 77, 78 was first year for this model. So this is the Super Flighter SF1000 model, and as far as I can see, everything is as it should be, even this switch here. But yeah, I think for its age, it's in good condition with its original case. Something Fender, as you'll see from the chocolate case. Now, we might have actually already featured this in a consignment update. I can't remember, so if I have, skip to the next guitar.
Or stay and watch it anyway.
But quite simply, Rory Gallagher, Fender Custom Shop Strat. There's the name. In fact, this is feeling a bit deja vu, so I think maybe we have, but yeah, see it again, it's a nice thing. Put through the Fender relicking shop.
Well, we do have one of Bernie's as well, don't we?
We do, yeah, there is one in the Bernie Marsden collection, so Bernie Marsden collection will not feature in the December auction, it will come next year. Just a quick update for you there. We'll make further announcements, but yeah, that is a Fender Custom Shop Rory Gallagher signature JV Strat with a difference. So lots of this is JV Strat, but we do have some changes. I think essentially what I'm calling this is a parts caster, mainly because it's not an original body. Who made the body?
Oh, is this
NKY?
NKY one, wasn't
yeah, it? NKY from Australia, I believe.
It was a hard thing to... There was a couple other examples we found online with the NKY stamp that people were saying were JVs, or they bought as a JV, but trying to find out exactly where that's from is just like...
Yeah, so we're unsure of the truth really, but anyway, it's NKY body.
There was a maker in Australia with that name.
Yeah, a decent body though, and we have a JV Squier neck, which unusually doesn't have a pencil date on the end, but everything else on the neck looks right. The tuners look right. We've got the JV serial number, which is quite a high serial number, so it'll be one of the later ones, maybe 84, something like that. The pots are correct. The saddles all look okay. The switch is definitely correct. That's a DM30 switch. The pickups are not the usual type, so I still need to look into the pickups, but the pickups may not be original. But yeah, you get a Fender tweed case. But yeah, another JV Squier, and of course we do dissect a JV Squier in one of our previous videos, going under the hood of a white one that's also in the December auction. So if you like the inside shots, head back to that video and have a look underneath. That one that we dissect is an all original, but from what you do see, you can see how one should look. It's basically there's a replaced pickup, but essentially everything else is right, so you can see and dissect one of those early 82 Squier JVs. So yeah, that is a parts caster with lots of JV Squier parts. One of the best colours in my opinion. The surf colours, love them. Surf green, yellowed a little bit. So we have this is 1990 precisely, 1990 pencil date. So this is an MIJ made in Japan 62 reissue precision bass. The only thing I can really see that's not original is this plate. You can see the original marks. This has had a wider plate, and I think we do have the plate. Yeah, there it is. The plate is there. Why they put a smaller one on, I don't know. There must have been a reason for that. And the only other real condition issue is the made in Japan has been scratched out, because the previous owner has obviously been ashamed to be playing a Japanese made Fender, and I don't know why, because
they're the best.
yeah, they're probably better. I'll let you be the judge of that though.
Fight it out in the comments.
Yeah. Nice thing though, and anything from this period, 80s, 90s, Fender Japan, great. Another chocolate Fender box. So this is an AVRI from the early 2000s. So it's been well used. It's got some dings marks. We're missing the cover there, which, let's have a look. Yeah, we do have the cover there. And yes, this is reminding me. So it's got a bridge block and plate there. So that's the original. We've got the trem arm. Now I think, looking at the material, it's probably something like a Callahan bridge block, which is a well-known mod. They're just yeah, good. Well, people just tend to like them. There's probably some reason, the material they're made of or something, but everything else checks out okay. So early 2000s, AVRI 62 reissue Stratocaster with the correct chocolate brown case, and yeah, fairly good used condition. I don't think any of you will have seen one of these, and if you have, let me know. How cool is that? So this was made circa 1981 by Overwater. So Overwater custom bass, fretless bass, nice big high output pickups. I believe they're Armstrong, Kent Armstrongs. Decent bridge, decent components. Looks a bit different. You could see John Entwistle playing that, couldn't you?
Definitely. Nice.
I'm not a bassist, but yeah,
Nor
I think that was.
I'm in one.
Yeah,
I am one in a band.
You are. Copping out of the bass play. It's a joke. It's a joke. Yeah, that is a very nice bass, Overwater bass, and they just made good custom basses back in the day. So yeah, nice thing. So I'm going to stick to the theme of something that not many of you have seen, and I don't think anyone will have seen one of these. I have had, before this came in, I'd seen one and a picture of, and it was a different spec. So
I'm going to hold it here.
I love it. Now, this is made a chap called Russell Ferriday, but the brand name Trajik. And I think some people might actually say that's the perfect brand name for it. But I do love it. Now, made in England, mid-1990s. It's the RFIII model I'm going to go for. That's not official because if you look at his brochures, he mentions RF2, which is a 2 pickup model. So I think this is a custom made or custom design option that someone may have ordered from him with 3 pickups. So these 3 pickups have always been on here, and they are Burns trisonic pickups. So it's got a great, the Burns pickups just sound great. I love Burns pickups anyway. But you've got the switch in here, even the knobs are, I mean, just look at this thing. The quality is just incredible. All this ply, very ergonomic. It's nice and light. Premium Goto tuners, but I think it's just an amazing piece of art. I mean, this is when art and guitars can cross over. I think that is just a cool, if nothing else, is a cool wall hanger. But it does play really well. It's surprisingly resonant considering the lack of wood. But I just think in terms of guitar craftsmanship, that's taking it to the next level. I mean, it's almost something that our friend Mr. Ben Crow at Crimson Guitars would come up with some wacky design. Maybe he would think it's too tragic for him even, but I personally, you know, jokes aside, I personally think this is a great guitar. I love it. As you all know by now, if you've been tuning into our videos,
you love the weird and wonderful.
I do love the weird and wonderful. It certainly beats sticking another Strat on the pile, which it can feel like sometimes. Although don't get me wrong, I do love Strats, but that is what it can be like, you know. It's
nice to see something different.
It's nice to see something different, and great craftsmanship. Nice to see something British design, British pickups. Yeah, I think it's cool. What do you think? Now, something else a little bit different, but I think more of you will have seen this, or certainly guitars by this maker, than the last one. But again, a lesser spotted thing. So this is a Flaxwood.
At a glance, it's almost like a Patrick Eggle until you turn it over.
It is, until you turn it over. So, it's a Flaxwood guitar, made in Finland, these are. And what's it made out of?
Clues in the name.
Clues in the name. It's made out of Flaxwood. Whatever Flaxwood is. I think it's
wood from flax.
Yeah. Compressed.
It's not.
Compressed. Some kind of compressed fibres. I don't know. I'm bad. I haven't completely researched it yet, but it's in the name Flaxwood. It's got like some kind of, you know, resonance about it. Made in 2016, with a Hiscox case. Got the tags. It's in great condition. It's almost in shop, high street shop condition, as new. NOS. There we go. Stick another Strat on the pile, he says. Although it is a bit different still.
It's a super Strat. Well.
So this is a Fender American Deluxe QMT quilted maple top. So you don't see many of this model around. It's not for the traditional Fenderists or Stratists, but yeah, it's basically deluxe spec, quilted top, HSS spec, so a bit more of that super Strat look with the original case. And I believe we may have actually had this guitar once before, a few years ago. So it's back. So if you were bidding last time and missed out, it's here again. So we've done the right thing. We've gone back and actually had a look at what Flaxwood is, because I like to think that we do teach people things on this channel as well. So, Chris, what is flaxwood?
Aside from being wood from flax, flaxwood is apparently an innovative new tone material that is created by breaking the grain structure of natural wood and injection moulding it to shape, combined with an acoustically sensitive binding agent.
So there we go, acoustically sensitive. So it has acoustic properties. So there we go, that is what flaxwood is. You don't have to go and Google it yourself. You've been informed firsthand by us via Google. So moving swiftly on. Nothing, a lot of you won't find this necessarily exciting, but I thought it's always nice to feature Squier guitars because they are good. This is a made in Japan Squier. I'm going to say probably late 80s, and it's got the cool bridge. What's the bridge called? System 1 bridge. Plucked from the depths of my plucked out from somewhere.
You could hear the cogs were because mine were as well.
So yeah, just a good example, but it's got a bit of staining around. It's obviously been in some nicotine filled environment, probably gigged. But yeah, good old whammy on that one, with the locking tuners as well. More of a contemporary take on the Strat there. MIJ, late 80s. A case from the old shed. And there we go, we've got a Fender bass. This is a US bass, and that is heavy, which can only mean it's from the late 70s, and it is. 1978, mocha, or brown.
Chocolate espresso.
Chocolate espresso.
My favourite in this place.
Yeah, it is. If you ever come over to an auction, ask for a chocolate espresso. Lovely. Out of a machine, mind, but yeah, auction day special. So this is a late 70s original Fender bass, and you've seen in previous videos we had the two black ones from the late 70s, so you are spoilt for choice. So you can either have chocolate brown, or
black.
You can have black
Black
with maple, or black with rosewood. Spoilt. So if you go back to a few consignment videos ago, if you are just joining us for consignment updates, go back and watch the other ones. There's some lovely guitars there, but you will have seen a black Falcon Gretsch that we had, and this is its opposing twin.
Yin to its yang.
It is indeed. So only made a couple of years apart. I think the black Falcon was 92. This one's from 1990, made in Japan, so early Japanese made. And it's the thin line model, which is the 7594. But it's in, I guess it's in good used condition. There's a few marks. We've got a bit of damage to one of the rings there, but it's just an iconic guitar, isn't it? And funnily enough, this did come in a few weeks ago, and it just, like buses, it actually arrived on the day that we did the video for the black Falcon. Coincidences like this almost always happen, as I've told tales in previous videos before. So yeah, iconic looking guitar, nice thing. So this actually has a very expensive case with it. Coulson cases. These cases cost hundreds, but they are probably the best case you can buy if you really want to protect your guitar. Your guitar.
I suppose you could say they are the Rolls Royce of cases.
The Rolls Royce of cases. There we go. Well saved. Yeah. That was almost planned.
I had that one on the back burner waiting to go.
So there we are. We have a mid 1930s Dobro resonator. So well used condition. Nice chunky V neck, with the serial that confirms the date. But it is, yeah, if you want an old wooden bodied resonator, needs tuning, which
that wasn't me.
wasn't us. I would say that at some point the bridge on the old cone probably needs looking at, because it's looking quite worn in. But there we go. It's a well-used guitar, but I just love it when they look like that because it gives them character. We had a very clean example last time, if you remember, with the French scroll design, but yeah, love that. It's the wrong case. Modern Gator case with, again, something a little bit weird and different. I had this apart yesterday, which is why all the strings...
Trying to date it, wasn't it?
Trying to date it. This is, I mean, there's something quite interesting about this guitar. So this is, of course, a Deacon model. It's got higher appointments than its the Breadwinner equivalent, which has got dot inlays. But this is the classier model, I guess. So 1970s. The thing we found quite interesting is we've got the E for the serial, but no serial number, and just a registration mark, which is unusual. Now, this guitar was owned by a musician called Mitt Gammon, and he has been, you can all go and ask Google once again, but he was involved with quite a lot of recordings for, you know, fairly famous artists. And part of you thinks, well, was it like an artist guitar or an early artist guitar or something, hence the no serial number? We don't know, but we can't accurately date it, unfortunately. But it's made some point in the 70s. We got that very sort of axe-like body, mahogany bolt-on neck, active circuitry, and these do sound great, and I like them because I like weird things. But obviously not for everyone, but always lovely to feature.
It might be worth mentioning about with the dating is we did take the control panel out to date the pots, but you cannot get to either side of the pot without, was it desoldering them, I think?
You basically had to take a circuit board off. I'm not going anywhere near circuit boards. We have another British guitar. And again, perhaps not many of you will know about this luthier, Mr. Paul McNabb, under the brand name Paulman. This is his Zenith model, and it's just a very well made jazz type, but small body jazz type guitar. So mahogany back and sides. It's quite Les Paul going on the back there. But with the arched maple top, nice cherry sunburst finish. Classy looking guitar, big dog ear P90 pickups, nice rosewood board, and just all the parts, no expenses spared with the parts and all the binding. So yeah, Paul McNabb, Paulman Zenith, and it's a nice thing. Rare for me to feature things like this, but this is good Hofner solid. Now this has been restored, hence the condition, but I really think it's benefited from it because this vinyl can peel and separate, so it's actually nice to see one as it would have originally been. It's been restored really well. Whoever's done it's done a very good job. It's coming from a deceased estate, but this is the so this is the Hofner Colorama II 60s guitar. So as I've said, recovered body, pickups actually work. We got a Hofner where both pickups work. Most we have come in for one reason or another don't always, but yeah, original neck, refinished neck though. Nice bit of maple there though, with the original serial number at the top and the standard Van Gent, I think, probably tuners. Again, sticking with the made in Germany Hofner theme, and one of my favourite models of Hofner guitars. As you know from previous videos, I'm not the biggest Hofner fan, but this is one model I do particularly like. From the same collection, and again, it has been restored and it's been done really well. In fact, I think the finish is so good, they've got the colour pretty much bang on. I can tell that it's been refinished, mainly because there's one mark there and you can actually see sort of some original marking or finish underneath. So if you get a ding like that, where there's kind of part of the layer missing and it's still got the consistent colour, then you normally know it's going to be refinished. But it's been done really well though. We're missing the original label, unfortunately. Again, this is going to be from around 63. These sort of staple pickups, they were introduced in 63, so it's 63, 64, 65 I guess. But you get these type of knobs as well. Typical Hofner headstock. And it's just a really, really nice example, although it has been restored, but a good playing example. And yeah, working pickups and the original Selmer case. What is in the Gibson case? Not a Gibson, but close association. Heritage guitars. So the original Kalamazoo factory, Gibson Kalamazoo factory, of some of the original factory workers, started the Heritage Guitar Company, still going of course, and this one dates to the late 1980s, and it's a H140 model. Now there are quite a few modifications on this one. We've got Goto bridge or stop bar and tune-o-matic. The tuners, Kluson Deluxe, they're usually Grovers on this model, but Kluson Deluxe tuners fitted. And I'm pretty sure this is from '88, so it's the H140 model, very much Les Paul inspired, but a bit of a thinner body, quite lightweight as well, but very well made in the sort of traditional Gibson style. We're going British again, and I do love this particular Burns model. Nice and simple. 2 knobs, 2 pickups, good trisonic pickups as well. I love the trisonic pickups. But this is a Shortscale Jazz guitar. The shorter scale there. Nice dark rosewood neck. I believe this body's been refinished. It's got the typical checking marks you get of Burns guitars from this era, but I do think it's been refinished. It would the colour wouldn't match the neck exactly, but it would be closer. And yeah, nice thing. From around 63, I think, based on the serial number. Now these are good gig bags. Reunion Blues. If you haven't heard of them before and you want the best gig bag for your guitar, they are hard to beat, to be honest. Really well padded, and I think it needs to be because there's quite a nice guitar inside here. So this is a John Buscarino. We met John Buscarino in the consignment videos for our September auction. Obviously with the we had the Buscarino Monarch model. So this is the Starlight. It's kind of a hybrid acoustic, thin line acoustic electric guitar with the sort of more classical wider width neck, nylon strung, but very, very well made indeed by John Buscarino. One of his popular models, and this is just in fantastic condition. So if you want the best guitar, sort of that electric acoustic hybrid, hand built, the best guitar of its kind, if you're after something like this is probably what you want to go for. You won't be disappointed. We haven't had a PRS yet.
Never surprised.
Let's go for the...
Oh, you mean a Fender Strat?
Let's go for the controversial PRS. So in a Midnight Rose finish, we have a 2020 John Mayer Silver Sky. It's been lightly used, lacquer checking and other general marks, but it's generally in good condition with its original gig bag. This is the real deal. This is a genuine, not a later replica. This is a genuine Zemaitis metal top, custom deluxe, hand engraved by Danny O'Brien. Zemaitis is a personal engraver, and it's even got engraved back plates as well. So this is the top of the range model. Made metal fronts for many iconic guitarists. I think Ronnie Wood's always the one that comes to mind, especially for the electrics. And it's just a wonderful thing in incredible condition. Now, this was made in 1999, so very shortly before he retired, and this was one of the reasons why the owner had the guitar made. He'd always aspired to have one, and then he thought, just before Tony retired, he thought, I've got to bite the bullet and have one made. So the great thing about this guitar is it comes with full provenance, lots of pictures of the owner picking the guitar up from Tony, pictures of Tony holding the guitar, lots of letters, receipts. It comes with a lot of provenance, which is fantastic, and it's a must for these because there are so many fakes out there. When I say so many, there's a number of fakes, should I say. So you've got to be really careful with these. It's also been verified by our friend Keith Smart, chairman of the Zemaitis Owners Club, and he's written a certificate of authenticity for it. So this is one of the holy grail guitars by Tony Zemaitis, and we are going to do a more in-depth video of this guitar, just an isolated video featuring this guitar and all the provenance we have with it. So obviously, if you do want to check back on this guitar, subscribe, like, as always, and just hit that bell icon because you'll be notified of our future videos and you will not miss out on this one. So we will feature this. It's a special thing. It's in fantastic condition, sold by the original owner with more provenance than you can shake a stick at. So as promised at the start of the near the start of the video, we're going to have a look at this gold top. So we've covered the outside of the guitar. So if you are for some reason joining this video late and you skip past the bit about the gold top shortly into the start of the video, go back and you can hear all about the outside. We don't need to cover that again. So just looking inside, covers, very thin material, extremely thin material. So the covers are correct. Got the old P90s there with all the correct wiring. Now, one thing we do see in here that is not original is this bar. So this bar has been added to secure the pickups in place. So yeah, this bar in here, it's not original, and I'm pretty sure the screws, there we go, I'm pretty sure they're not, they probably belong more with the bar there than they do originally to the guitar. But anyway, the pickups are original, that's the main thing that counts. So there we go, original pickup there, and then again we've got this pickup here with the very thin plastic. I'm just going to keep it there for now. Now what you will notice, we've got the bar again here. This is an original pickup, we've got the bar again here, but you can see on this bar refinishing over the top, which is consistent with what I said about the area here where the bolts would have been, where you can see the shadow of the old bolts. The bars are not original for holding these in place, but the cavities all look good apart from that. Stop bar, posts look good, and even the post settings. So there we go, just take them out. That all looks fairly consistent, and as I'd like to see. And just looking at the stop bar, I mentioned the stop bar earlier. As you can see, this one is not original. So because of the width of the posts, a lot of the modern bars wouldn't actually sit properly. So some work has been done on this one to actually get it to sit with the width. And I will grab the original one here. Is it in there? It's not in there. That's some caps, which we'll get onto in a minute. So yeah, this is the original bar. One thing you always notice about these is it's very, very light, and it's the material that they used to use. Yeah, they're just so lightweight. So I guess this was deemed, I mean, I can't really see much wrong with it, but it was deemed unusable. Of course, you've got the screws there to try and position it and intonate, but you can see it has been used with the string markings, the wraparound. So that goes on as it should, and you can see that this bar, as I've mentioned, has been adapted to fit, and you can actually see, and it's probably quite difficult to see, but you can see that there is a big difference in width, or not a big difference, but I guess in these scales it is, and you can see the thickness as well, the new bar and the old bar. So that has been shaved and adapted to make sure it fits the old posts. Pickguard looks okay, as I've already mentioned. Knobs, you tend to find that these pointers are quite sharp. They're not as sharp as some of the ones I've seen, so perhaps they've been filed down, because they are quite sharp. If you catch yourself on them, you know about them, and they're usually quite fine as well. So anyway, that sort of covers the inside of this side. We'll flip it over and have a look on the other side. Just before I take the back off, my colleague, as we were just in between takes, quite rightly said to me, how do I know that the bars are, because obviously one had been refinished in the bridge cavity, which could have been done, because if it's always been there and it's been refinished in that area. He said, well, how do you know? Because I didn't say. Well, the reason I know is because they didn't have the metal bars in there originally, so it would have just been plain wood that you're screwing into, but obviously those bars, it's just more stable. Simple as that. So that just clarifies that one for anyone who may have asked that question. So these cavities have been unscrewed. When you get to see enough of these, I mean, I've not seen loads of these old Les Pauls, but when you see enough of these, you get the general idea, and you can obviously take measurements as well. But this cavity is the right size. Now, the earlier Gibsons, this actually gets widened later on, and it's mad really that it took them so long to make the decision to widen the cavity, because it's actually really hard to work in there. With this switch, so that's the correct switch, the right size cavity, so that's all nice. Again, this has been refinished, this back. And then I mentioned the not Bakelite, the Royalite plastics. Now on the back, I don't know whether the camera's going to pick it up, but in certain lights you can see roller marks across it from the machining, so hopefully you can get the gist of that. And it'll be the same on this one as well on the back. It's normally best to get them out in sunlight, because you can kind of like move them slightly and see the roller marks.
You can just about see it.
Anyway, made of Royalite, probably quite valuable parts these days, so handle with care. And in the back here, there's obviously some resoldering that's happened, which is because the capacitors have been replaced. So there's the originals, replaced with these sort of similar type. Now, we have not taken the pots out, and I'm not going to take the pots out, because we could do some harm to the wiring that I don't really want to have to go through the hassle or expense of rectifying. So you'll just have to take my, not necessarily word, but have some kind of faith that they are right. They look right, they're the right age, they're the right type. They've got the usual sort of patina and general tooling marks on the back. If you see a lot of these 50s Gibsons, the Flying V we had last sale, very, very similar. There are a few changes going on. You can see one of the original holes where some of the wires would have come from. So there has been some modifications in there, but nothing too drastic. So yeah, there's not really much to look at. So we got some original pots, replaced caps, some original wiring, some resoldering. The roller marks on these old Royalite plates are one thing to look at. And yeah, that pretty much covers the rest of this. Obviously go back to the start of the video if you want to learn more about the outside of this guitar, but we'll have further details on the website when all is finalised and the catalogue is online. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us again this week. I feel that's been a bit of a bumper episode with lots coming in, a load more coming in this week and next week, so stay tuned to our future consignment updates, and the best way to do that is hit the bell icon, but please subscribe to our channel, please like the video. It all helps let people like yourselves also view these videos, whether you've just got an interest in guitars or you're a follower of our auctions. But of course our next sale is on the 5th to the 8th of December. We have guitars, we have artist associated guitars, we've already seen some artist associated collections. We've got pedals, we've got amps, we've got guitar spares, and we've got some very special guitars in particular that you have seen today. Just 53 gold top, Zemaitis, which we will do a feature length video of, and of course we will have some video demos coming later, sort of I guess mid-November they will hit our channel. So thanks for joining us again today. If you do have anything to sell, consignment deadline is the 3rd of November, and that is very fast approaching. Only 2.5 weeks left, so get your entries in quickly. But yeah, thanks for joining us today, and we will see you next time.